Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and in today's video, we're going to be doing a little bit more technical analysis on Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency markets, and I just so happened to miss a video yesterday, and boy was that a bad day to do so, guys. Yesterday, Bitcoin decided that it was not only going to break bullish out of this consolidation pattern that we've been watching here over the last couple of days, but also that it would rally to and eventually break through $10,000. Guys, I remember back in 2017 when everybody was talking about Bitcoin going to $10,000, and I remember over the last couple of months everybody talking about Bitcoin going to $10,000, and both times Bitcoin has proved its worth and managed to break and destroy that level of resistance. Never will it ever again be as major of a level of resistance because both times we've tested it, we have blown straight through it. And in today's video, I want to go ahead and discuss what the heck is actually going on here, guys, because we are straight up mooning. And I also want to discuss whether or not a $20,000 Bitcoin in 2019 is still possible, because based on the rally that we're seeing here, I think that's a question that we very seriously need to consider when Bitcoin rallies a full 20% in the span of 48 hours. So guys, we have a whole lot that we want to discuss in today's video. It's going to be a good one. A lot of information going to be jam-packed in here. But before we do dive on into it, I want to go ahead and remind you to destroy that like button, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell if you're new here. And also, since I did miss yesterday's video, I'm going to be extending the sale on CT2A, our Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy, where you guys learn everything you need to know about technical analysis to profit in these markets for another day. It's going to be ending tomorrow instead of today because I missed today. I didn't want to kind of mess you guys up like that. There are plenty of you guys joining. But anyway, guys, with that out of the way, we'll discuss more of that at the end of the video. Let's go ahead and dive right on into the video. Alright guys, so let's go ahead and recap what exactly has gone on here in the last 48 hours or so while I've been away. I just so happened to have surgery on the day that Bitcoin decided it was going to break one of the most important psychological levels of resistance that Bitcoin has seen in a couple of months, ever since $6,000. I remember I was in the Discord server, link in the description by the way, I don't plug that very often, and I was talking to our moderator, J.Tess, who is very, very active in the Discord server, and we were both discussing, and actually he had mentioned, and then I agreed with him later on, that $10,000 is a major level of resistance. But it is a major level of psychological resistance, and had I been capable of making a video yesterday, I would have mentioned that, and that $10,000 is a very major level of resistance, but only psychologically. $10,000 has not been a major level of resistance for a very long time. The last time was back over here in March of 2018. We've broken resistance that was a year and nearly a half old. So while I have also said in the past that psychological resistance and technical resistance are very similar, they are not the same. And the reason that they're not the same is because technical level of resistances can be defined by the chart. Psychological level of resistances can only be defined by the media surrounding the cryptocurrency market. So there's a very big difference there. It's not wise necessarily to conflate the two, but I did think that Bitcoin may have stopped a little bit longer at 10K. If you watched the video that went up previously, the day before yesterday's video, I was talking about a breakout and how Bitcoin was probably going to break bullish and rally to and above $10,000. So it's not like I didn't see this coming, but it is something that you want to be aware of. But if we look here in the hourly chart, we can see exactly what happened, and then we'll dive into our projections for where Bitcoin is going and whether or not we can actually hit that $20,000 mark by the end of the year. The first thing I want to talk about is how Bitcoin broke bullish out of this. I believe right before this broke bullish was right around the time that that video that went up about 48 hours ago actually was recorded, or maybe it was just after the breakout, but I was talking about in that video, I think I remember talking about in that video, how Bitcoin was trading against the level of resistance here and how Bitcoin was probably going to break bullish out of this and rally to $10,000. From there, it may have broken bullish, or it may have rejected, but I had a feeling we were at least going to go to $10,000 because we were already so close. And that's what we did. We kind of slowly crept up here. This was a very substantial rally in and of itself. We kind of slowly crept up here to $10,000, and eventually, right here around 1900 hours Eastern time, Bitcoin blasted through the ceiling and has been rallying like a rocket ship over the last 12 to 24 hours or so. Crazy stuff going on. I was watching it break last night, wishing I could live stream, but I was very busy last night dealing with some stuff. We will be trying to catch live streams like that in the future now that I can. But Bitcoin has properly broken $10,000. It's time to pop the champagne corks, buy the Lamborghinis, buy the hilltop mansions, buy all the fancy things you guys want to have, like the 12-foot long grand piano. Do they make those? No, I don't think they do. Either way, it is a very good time for Bitcoin right now, but it's also a time for me to remind you that just because Bitcoin has rallied, let's see here, let's see, what, I'm going to say 300%, 250% in the last 4 months or so. Just because that has happened, that does not mean that it is a time to start FOMOing. That does not mean that it is a time for us to start going crazy on Bitcoin. I'm going to give you some reasons in the future here in this video in a little bit why you might be inclined to think that. So I want to put a disclaimer here that just because Bitcoin is rallying in a very healthy, very strong way does not mean that we can go and start making stupid decisions. It does not mean that we can start jeopardizing our technical analysis, and it most certainly does not mean that we can start doing stupid stuff like going and selling a crap ton of Bitcoin to buy stupid things like Lamborghinis and champagne corks and everything. You don't buy champagne, you buy champagne corks on this channel. Anyway, with that out of the way, I do like putting disclaimers when Bitcoin is doing crazy things because people will make mistakes when things like this are happening. You don't want to let your emotions get to you. So let's go ahead and dive back on into the technicals. The next thing I want to discuss is the next level of resistance for Bitcoin, and it's very clearly going to be this line right here at $11,700. We may not rally there. Sometimes when Bitcoin has rallied this far, it doesn't actually need a level of resistance to reject off of. It doesn't actually need a level of rejection, a level of resistance to top out at. It'll just top out somewhere. So it's not necessarily guaranteed that we're going to go to 11.7. At this point, though, we're probably going to go to 11.7. Let's be totally honest. Bitcoin has been rallying like a rocket ship here over these last couple of days. Like I said, it wouldn't surprise me in the slightest if we did go there. If we look at our technical indicators, by the way, everything looks ridiculously green, as I'm sure you would have predicted. Our MACD is looking absolutely fantastic. Look at this, guys. Not only has MACD had a cross about a week and a half ago, we're also seeing that the histogram bars are reaching up to points that they have not been in a very long time. These histogram bars are going absolutely nuts, as you would expect when Bitcoin rallies, let's see, $2,000 in the span of like 3 days. We see these histogram bars growing in a very, very quick manner. With that said, I do want to add a caveat to that, and that is that things that go up must come down. And the further apart these two lines get, the easier it is for them to start bearish, start converging in a bearish manner, which means that the next histogram bar might be down here or down here. The further apart they get, the further away this histogram bar gets from the zero level down here, the easier it is for there to be a correction and a retracement and a reversal in the MACD, and then so forth in the chart. So watch out for that. That is something that could happen over the next couple of days. We'll keep you updated. For right now, Bitcoin is looking ridiculously bullish, but don't forget, guys, 2 days before Bitcoin hit $20,000, it was also looking similarly ridiculously bullish. A lot of times the downtrend will start right after the period of the most exuberance in the market. One thing I do want to point out here on the daily chart is some classical RSI divergence that I'm spotting, by the way, guys, because this might actually coincide with a massive Bitcoin breakout above 10K and result in a downtrend. We'll discuss why that might not happen as well here in a bit, but this is something you ought to be aware of. Bitcoin very clearly has a trend line of resistance right here from this level right over here to wherever Bitcoin does eventually top out at. And that's not that big a deal. Just drawing a line doesn't mean a whole lot. But when that line coincides with this, as you can see, a downtrending level of resistance on the RSI, that's not a good thing. And let me point something out to you guys. The RSI is rallying. Bitcoin's RSI is obviously rallying. You would expect it to do so when Bitcoin is doing this number up here. But the problem here is that Bitcoin is setting a higher high on its chart, but just about no matter what it does, it seems like it's going to set a lower low on the RSI. That is classical RSI divergence on the daily chart especially. That is one of the strongest indications of a downtrend to be starting relatively soon. Does that mean it's going to happen? Absolutely not. It very well may not result in a downtrend. Maybe Bitcoin rallies straight to $20,000, but it is something you want to be aware of because that is currently betting against the market. That's not me betting against the market. That's this technical indicator and this technical chart formation betting against the market. So keep that in mind. That is something that may end up being important in a couple of days, and we may see that that was the catalyst of a correction on Bitcoin. If there's going to be one, this is going to be one of the catalysts. With that said, guys, the 4-hourly chart looks absolutely phenomenal. We can see the MACD on the 4-hourly is going absolutely bonkers, guys. We haven't seen it do anything like this in quite a while, since back over here in early May. In early May, Bitcoin was doing essentially the exact same thing that it's doing right now. I know all of our portfolios are growing very, very nicely, just about no matter what position you're in. I'll talk about some of my positions here in probably tomorrow's video, actually, because this one's going to end up being pretty long. We can see that the same thing with the RSI is not happening on the 4-hourly chart. Bitcoin is at very long-term highs here on the RSI, so there's not really room for classical RSI divergence in that department. Anyway, guys, that's pretty much what I wanted to discuss with these technical indicators. So let's go ahead back out to the daily chart and discuss some longer term things for Bitcoin. The main one that I want to talk about, as I mentioned earlier in the video, is can Bitcoin go to $20,000 in 2019? Because previously I would have been skeptical and said, you know, it's possible, but I don't think it's likely. Well, guys, I think I need to update that because we've certainly seen a lot of bullishness from Bitcoin. I figured that as soon as Bitcoin broke $10,000, we'd be trading at or above $11,000 pretty quickly. This movement is not in the slightest surprising to me, but since we've had it confirmed, I do want to update what I was saying about a 20K Bitcoin. I think that it's a lot more possible and a lot more probable than it was only a week ago. And the reason I say that is not because a whole lot has changed on Bitcoin, actually. But the reason I say that is because Bitcoin has displayed, once again, that it's not happy to just trade sideways for 3 or 4 months right here. It's not happy to have a correction. It's not happy to go back into the bear market. It has been there, it has done that, and it never wants to go again. It got the postcard, got the t-shirt, got all the diseases that you want to get. It doesn't like it, and it's not returning. It's not a fan. It's not going back. And if we go back on our chart here, one thing you have to keep in mind is that when Bitcoin entered its previous bull market, we saw a massive rally, and then we traded sideways for 6 or 7 months. But guess what? This rally, this bull market is a very, very different beast. We've been shown that many times here in 2019, that this bear market is, in fact, a lot more bullish. That this accumulation phase was, in fact, a lot more bullish, and that this bull market is, in fact, a lot more bullish than what we were seeing happen in 2015 and 2016. And the reason for that, I would say, was because of 2 major things. One, the wide-scale adoption of Bitcoin and the wide-scale development of the media around it. So that being what I do, the YouTube space, the community around Bitcoin, the cohesion of the group of people that enjoy Bitcoin in the blockchain industry and cryptocurrency. That is one of the major reasons why Bitcoin is more bullish now than it was. Actually, there's 3 reasons. The second reason I would say is because there's a lot of people who are making a ton of money in 2017 or who didn't make a ton of money in 2017 but now want to, that are coming into the market. So we're getting a little bit of nitrous put into the market, into our tank, so that we can rally really quickly. And the third reason I'd say that this is happening has a lot to do with what happened with Mt. Gox back in 2014. This was a gigantic bearish news for Bitcoin. I'm not going to get into Mt. Gox. If you guys have been in the space for a while, you probably heard that name a billion times. That was a huge bearish development on Bitcoin, and it's something that did put a major damper on what was already a Bitcoin bear market, which in and of itself, which in the end would have made the bull market be a little less bullish. So 2016 and 17 were absolutely ridiculous, but guys, I think 2019, 2020, 2021 are going to be even more so if we can manage to maintain the bullish fundamentals and if we can manage to maintain this strong of an uptrend. Bitcoin, I don't think, is in the mood right now for having just a bunch of sideways trading action until the end of the year. I don't think it's in the mood for that. I think Bitcoin probably is in the mood for some kind of big correction here in the next couple of weeks, simply because we've blown through the moon again. It might only be like a 10% correction, but we're going to see something. Bitcoin isn't just going to go straight to $12,000 and just stop there and then keep going in a week. It's not going to do that. It's going to have a little bit of a correction, at least something, flag out a little bit, and then it'll keep going. That's exactly what we saw back over here when Bitcoin rallied to $8,500. We rallied up, had a little correction for 3 or 4 days, traded sideways, and kept going. About a month later, we consolidated. We traded sideways rather than having a correction. And that's stuff I can get into in future videos. I've talked about in previous videos. It is important, but not really in the scope of this video. The last thing I want to discuss here is, can Bitcoin go to $20,000, and is it likely during the year of 2019? And guys, I think the answer to that question is a resounding yes. Bitcoin most certainly can go to $20,000, and I think there's a pretty good chance that it will at this point. Like I mentioned, and the reason I talked about those 3 reasons was because I wanted to instill in you guys the understanding that Bitcoin is far more bullish in this case than it was in 2015 and 2016. This is not the same beast. Bitcoin is not less bullish. Bitcoin is not the same amount of bullish. Bitcoin is more bullish. There is a very strong possibility that Bitcoin does go to $20,000 and beyond. There's plenty of technical indicators I can dive into with that, but I don't think I really need to. Bitcoin has proven that to us here over these last couple of days. In 72 hours, guys, Bitcoin has rallied nearly 20%. And if we were to rally just a little bit further, just about a 45% rally, not 45% rally, like an 80 to 90% rally, we're already back up to $20,000. Well, guys, Bitcoin has rallied 240% over the last 4 months. Who's to say we can't do the same thing? Now, you might bring up the fact that that's going to require a major increase in market capitalization, and you're totally right. But I would counter that with saying that we have a lot of bullish news coming into Bitcoin, and also, by the way, ever since Bitcoin did this, breaking above $10,000, Oh my lord, just imagine the number of people that are about to start flooding into the cryptocurrency market on FOMO, trying to get a piece of the pie. And don't get me wrong, they're probably going to get burned because they're probably going to buy in the next couple of days and Bitcoin's going to crash and they're going to regret it. But still, some of them are going to stick around and they're going to be new value coming into the space. The fundamentals are looking great. We have a lot of companies stepping into the space. The market is looking very, very, very healthy. I don't think we're overextended. I think we're still below the fundamental value of Bitcoin. I think there's a lot of room to run. And yes, I do think $20,000 is very much in the cards and most likely probable at this point. So guys, I want to ask your opinion. Tell me in the comment section down below, do you think Bitcoin is going to rally to $20,000 during the year of 2019? Or do you think it's going to take a little bit longer? Do you think it's going to happen in 2020 that Bitcoin goes back to 20? What do you think is going to happen? Tell me in the comment section down below two things. Tell me, where do you think Bitcoin is headed this year? Is it going to go to break and be above $20,000 before December 31st of this year? Are we going to have an amazing Christmas gift and Bitcoin's going to hit it right at the end of the year? What have you done here these last couple of days? What trades are you in? How much money have you made in Bitcoin? I know I have made a ridiculous amount, not looking at it at all. My altcoin positions have actually been down on Bitcoin, but that's why I hold like 80% of my portfolio in an investing position in Bitcoin. And I'm very happy with the way it's looking right now. I hope you guys are as well. Tell me how you guys are doing in the comment section down below. Don't get me wrong and don't lie to me. I know you want to share just how well your portfolio is doing, and we're perfectly happy to hear you here at the Crypto Jeb channel. Anyway, guys, that's pretty much going to wrap it up for today's video. But like I said before we do, I do want to go ahead and remind you that we are still running the sale on the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy. There are exactly 24 hours before this goes ahead and wraps up. It is going to be over before the video that goes up tomorrow launches. So if you guys want to learn how to trade these markets, how to invest in these markets, how to read these markets, how to analyze these markets, and most importantly, guys, how to profit in these markets, because it's not every day that Bitcoin is rallying 20%. If you want to learn how to do that, and you do need to learn how to do that to make the most out of this major opportunity of your lifetime, guys, the most important thing to invest in is not Bitcoin. The most important thing to invest in is not Ethereum. It's not XRP. It's not Bitcoin Cash. It's not Bitcoin Gold. It's not Bitcoin SV. It's not Litecoin. It's not EOS. It's not NEO. It's not Cardano. It's not ADA. It's nothing. It's no cryptocurrency. It's no stock. It's no bond. It's no precious metal. It's no Forex currency. It's nothing other than yourself. The most important thing for you to invest in, and I know it's cliched, but it's cliched for a reason, is in yourself. It is extremely important moving forward into this bull market that you know precisely what you are doing, because just as fast as Bitcoin can rally, it can crash. I don't really need to show you guys that because I already am. Look at what happened over here. Yes, there was a lot of money to be made in 2017, but there was equally as much money to be lost in 2017 if you don't know what you're doing. You have to be very, very careful with these markets because you can make a lot of money, but you can also bleed a lot of blood if you're not careful. You need to understand these markets. You need to be able to analyze them. Just buying Bitcoin and holding it for the long term is good, but that's not going to make you the most out of this market. You want to be able to read them and trade them. Not only one, so that you can make more money in the market, but also two, so that you can actually enjoy your time in the market and be more engaged with the community and actually get yourself engrossed in Bitcoin. Manage to have a reason to keep up with the news in Bitcoin, keep up with the technical indicators, keep up with the technical analysis. It's important to be engaged in the cryptocurrency community and know what's going on. And that's why back before this bull market started on September 23rd of last year, I launched the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy, because back then I knew that Bitcoin was in a bear market. I knew that right over here Bitcoin was in a bear market, but I also knew beyond a shadow of a doubt that this thing that was going on right now was coming. I knew that a Bitcoin bull market was coming, and I've been saying it and I've been screaming it from the top of my lungs for the last year and a half, and people have been laughing at me and laughing at me and laughing at me, but now I'm the one laughing all the way to the bank because I told them it was coming. I knew it was coming, and the reason I made CT2A is because I wanted to prepare you guys. I want you guys to be ready, and I want you guys to be able to profit. Guys, this is not about me making a ton of money. I'm not trying to become a millionaire. I'm not trying to make a crap ton of money off of CT2A. The reason that I run these sales is because I want you guys to be able to learn this information cheaply so that you can actually go and apply this information and learn and trade and profit in these markets. I could easily sell this course for $500, and I guarantee you guys I would make a lot more money off of it. But that doesn't fulfill what I actually want from this course. I want the course to make enough money to be able to help me to support the channel, help me to support my life, and help me to support the life of an employee we just hired. I'll be talking about that in tomorrow's video. But the reason that it's as inexpensive as it is, and people comment on that all the time, is because I want as many of you guys as possible to be able to get the information in here and have it help change your life, because it's helped change the life of dozens and hundreds of people that have gone through the course. So guys, we have a full money back refund guarantee. If you ever want a refund, shoot me an email. I'll send it right back to you. You will get all of your money back. What do you have to lose? Go ahead, join with the link in the description. Use the $40 off coupon code June2019. And guys, let's make some money. Anyway, fellas, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up here for the video. I do want to thank each and every single one of you for watching. Like I said, join CT2A and also tell me in the comment section down below where you think Bitcoin is headed. But also, like I said, we are going to wrap it up for today's video. And I do want to thank each and every single one of you for watching as always, guys. And I'll see you guys at $20,000. Peace.